YouTube. Today is World Mental Health Day and I actually wasn't really sure whether to make a video or not because I didn't really know what to talk about, and also it's Monday. Mondays are crazy busy, but I didn't go to the gym today, so I happen to now have time to film, and obviously I could be doing work at this time right now, but I'm going to talk about this instead. Okay, so today I want to talk about the stigma behind mental illnesses and the fact that it is quite common for people with a mental illness to be perceived as lazy or rude or any other negative adjective by other people and by witnesses of this mental illness, by like teachers and peers and just people around them in society. So I have depression, well, I've had depression and I have anxiety, and obviously that has led to certain things which I haven't been able to do, or I've got really anxious about doing, like not being able to go to certain parties, or maybe not being able to speak up in class when I know the answer, maybe feeling too depressed to go to school but having to because I was anxious about what the consequences would be. I was anxious people would think that I was skiving, being lazy, and I feel like quite a lot of people are really affected by the stigma that people, the idea that they're just going to be seen as lazy, or like they're not trying, or like they're rude, and especially people with social anxiety as well as other mental health issues. I feel like it's going to really manifest in their head if they don't do something because of their mental health issues in a way that acts negatively upon themselves. And yes, I do see it from the perspective of someone with no mental health issues. When someone doesn't speak up in class, especially at the level of, like college and degree level education, maybe, if you don't speak up in a seminar, it could be presumed that you haven't done the work, you haven't done the preparation. I totally get that that would be an innocent presumption to make, but at the same time I think it needs to be bared in mind that there are people out there with mental health conditions that are out of their control. Just because I don't speak up, it doesn't mean I haven't prepared. It means I'm scared I'm going to be wrong. It means I'm scared I'm going to get my words muddled. I'm scared it's not going to come out right. Scared everyone's going to laugh at me. And I feel like a lot of other people probably go through similar things or the same things in different situations, which is why I'm speaking up about it. And as for, mental health, it's not static. You don't know if you're going to be mentally capable of doing something in advance, and I think this is where like the rude perception comes from, because just because you have anxiety or depression and you commit to maybe going to a party, or maybe you have an eating disorder and you're in recovery and you commit to going out for dinner or anything like that, you commit to going to a wedding, anything, you commit to going to a place any day in advance, you don't know on that day if you're gonna be like so riddled with anxiety or depression, or if your eating disorder is going to be talking at you really strongly so much that you can't ignore it. You don't know that a week in advance, you don't know that a day in advance, you don't know it a month in advance, 2 months in advance, 3 months in advance. You can't predict how your mental health will be. There are times in which like you can predict your mental health if you know there are certain times of the year that trigger it, but for the most part you don't know. And mental health can in this way lead you to cancelling on people at the last minute and hating yourself for it because of the perception that you're just rude, just lazy, just whatever, but it's not good, or it can lead you to going anyway and hating it. And being really horrendous company, and then people thinking you're rude again because you were really horrendous company. And it's not okay. I think people watching this, if people are watching this without mental health conditions, they need to take from this video a level of acceptance and a realization that not everyone is the same as them. Not everyone is free from mental health conditions, and even if you do have a mental health condition and you're watching this, not everyone's mental health conditions are as easily manageable as yours may be. Some people can function well with their mental health conditions, or at least seem to be functioning well. I've pretty much, you know, for the most part of my mental health conditions, seems to be functioning well, but inside I've been a mess. And you know, just because I've been able to push through and deal with things, I would never assume that someone else can push through and deal with things, because everyone's experiences of mental health is so different, and we just need to reach a level of understanding in today's society for mental illness. We need to reach a level of understanding and respect. We need to create a safe environment and an open environment where people aren't ashamed to talk about their mental illness, and they're not ashamed to be honest about what they're really going through, because that way we would lead to everyone's mental health being better, I feel. And we have come a long way in the last few years. You know, we've come a long way with mental health being recognised and mental health being seen as a priority. It's amazing how far we've come in recognising mental health as a necessity and something that really is as important as physical health. But I feel like that gap between like the importance of physical health and the importance in mental health is still there. I feel we need to regard each in the same way. I feel like we need to keep on progressing and keep on speaking out and keep on reaching people who maybe don't know so much about mental health, so they learn from it. They learn that people with mental health conditions, they're sick, just like people with physical health conditions are. You're not going to tell someone with a broken leg to go and play football anyway and get over it and deal with it, but you would probably tell someone, you know, with anxiety to do the same thing, or depression to do the same thing. It's quite easy to just tell people to get over it, and that's not okay. You wouldn't perceive someone as rude or lazy if, you know, someone with cancer hadn't prepared their seminar work or decided not to turn up to something at the last minute. And you would perceive someone as lazy or whatever if they had a mental health condition. That needs to stop. It needs to be recognised that, yeah, obviously, you know, mental health isn't as severe as things such as cancer, but at the same time we need to stop perceiving people as lazy. We need to stop even leaving room for people with mental health conditions to think that they might be being perceived as lazy. We need to close up that idea, make it something that's not a possibility. It's just not a possibility. We need to make it something that's not a possibility, and so people with mental health conditions can be comfortable, and so their mental health conditions don't manifest worse because they worry about what people think. They worry about being a burden, being lazy, being rude. We just need to make everyone know that they are accepted no matter what. We need to let everyone with a mental health condition know that whatever they're going through, you know, however severe or not severe their mental health condition is, that they will be listened to, they will be understood, and they will be accepted regardless of what it is that they are going through. I can't speak now. Yeah, so that is that, and remember to follow me on my other social medias. Links will be be in the description at some point. I don't know when this will be uploaded though, so yeah, you know, at some point, and I will see you in my next video.